feature race time for our Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Sportsman Division. Let's introduce them all to you right here, right now. First off, it is the A&K Ends Trucking number 27 of Rick Sherman's. On the outside of him, the 51 of Matt Neufeld. Second row, we find the 5 of Kirk Senger, and on the outside of him, heat race winner earlier today, that 42 of Nicole Schietka. Third row is where we find that brightly colored number 93 of Neil Schneider in the Burco Electrical Machine. And on the outside of him, the 49, the Northern Lights Casino car of Ben Bush. Fourth row is where we get the Lucky Bastard Distillers number 28 of Cale Siemens, rookie in this field. And on the outside of him, it's the 51 shared today by Nick Jewell and Mr. Hockness as well. Or do we know, Don, who's in the 51 this time, 51X this time around?
Yeah, it'll be Luke Hawkins.
It is Luke Hawkins this time.
I'm sorry. Nick Jewell is driving.
Nick Jewell is.
Nick.
He gets the glory run.
Yes, sir.
As we move to our next row, we get the 15 of Dave McIntosh. He is sponsored by Alsco, and on the outside there is the 01 of Shania LaForce and the 10 of Dennis LaForce.
All right, pick a winner.
Oh,
you go first.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I am, you know what? I'm going to go 49 of Ben Bush. I got a feeling. He's looked fast, but just missed out on just a little bit. Who do you think?
Cale Siemens.
Oh, that's also a good pick. Very good pick. And we'll probably both be wrong.
Yes.
Pace cars into the infield as Kelvin Heilman eyes them up. Rick Sherman's for the third time today. Gets the pole position. What's he going to do with it? Matt Neufeld, rookie in the field with a terrific start. He gets, I thought he was going to go all the way around the outside by inches. He has the lead right now. Sherman's washes up a little high. Neufeld gives him lots of room. Speeding around. The two cars we're looking at, the 93 and the 49, still back basically in their starting positions. 27 of Sherman's trying to close the door. Yes, he does. He's able to fully get in front of that 51 of Matt Neufeld. Meantime, the 42 of Schietka washes up a little bit as the 5 of Kirk Senger tries to get to the inside. They've got a good battle going there for third spot. And we're side by side. Look at this, the 93 of Neil Schneider. He's trying to work his way through. He's down to the inside of Ben Bush. But again, this is a 50-lap race. This is not a 5-lapper, so it's the ones who can take care of the equipment, take care of the tires all the way through as well, and keep it clean. We're still basically in starting formation here. That's a sign of some great racing that we have going on. Sherman still to the inside of the young racer, number 51 of Matt Neufeld.
Oh, that's a tight 5-lap race. Hey, nice and tight.
Of course, sometimes frustration ends up taking over. Say, I know I'm faster than you guy in front of me, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of encouragement. That time around, the 93 of Schneider washed up just a little bit coming out of turn 4. He was able to keep it going the right way, though. Just trying to power down maybe a little bit more, trying to get a good run and possibly clear that 49.
You make a great point, man. That is so true.
It looks like Schietka is starting to get a little bit better run than the 5 of Senger coming out a few of those corners. But again, she can get just so much of a good run, but she has nowhere maybe to go with it. Oh, to the inside, Neil Schneider contacting the side of the number 5. And Shania LaForce took some evasive action. She is sitting high in turn number 1 right now, spun around facing the wrong way. It was the competition between the 93 of Schneider and the 5 of Senger, but those two came out of everything okay, but thinking that there might be a wreck in front of her, the 01 of Shania LaForce said, I want to go over here because then I don't wreck my car. And I think that's probably a good choice because you never know really what's going to be happening in front of you when two cars come in contact.
Once again, Matt Neufeld continues to shine. as he is outside pole here in this restart. Sherman's also having a very good race meet here today.
Is very much on Max TV, local on-demand replay here. It's we see Neil Schneider getting to the inside of that 5 of Kirk Senger, and good experience with the two of them. They were able to do a little bit of bumping and banging, get through the whole thing very cleanly, but then unfortunately that 0-1 of Shania LaForce ended up getting spun around a little bit there. Getting set for the restart, just like it was at the beginning of the race back 7-8 laps ago. It's the 51 of Matt Neufeld on the inside, of Rick Sherman's on the outside, although those two were swapped around the other order as we started the official race. Look at that great run from the 5. Kirk Senger says, you know what, I like that front action. What a terrific jump that was from 4th spot up to 2nd spot, now challenging for the top spot. Washes up a little bit high. What's his exit going to be out of turn 4 here? Pretty good, not too bad. He hammers down. Rick Sherman's, though, well, Kirk Senger had a great lap. Rick Sherman's had a terrible lap. He was shuffled from 2nd back into 5th spot.
Man, Senger executed that with confidence, eh?
No kidding. He's been driving that car now for several years. He knows what it's going to do. Kicks the back end out a little bit there going into turn number 1 and is powering his way through. Matt Neufeld, though, is not giving up. He's staying to the outside, and look at that purple nose starting to poke in there. It's the 42 of Nicole Sheetka. Sheetka with a terrific run. She comes through. So we've got some young guns in here, and we've got some not young guns. We got the 49 of Ben Bush. Great experience happening there. The 93 of Neil Schneider's been around for a long time, but we have you can say the younger crowd with the 5 of Kirk Senger, the 42 of Nicole Sheetka. We have Matt Neufeld in there as well. Sheetka continuing to run that outside, and look at that. They were, several laps ago, mired toward the back of the field, but the 2 cars, Don Pagoda, that you and I had picked to possibly come up and win this are creeping up toward the front.
We're looking all right, eh?
Oh, yeah. We should have had some money riding on this.
Dude, Audi at the front. We bet the Audi.
Okay. Whoever wins gets to take it around the track later, and whoever doesn't win gets to ride shotgun, right?
Yeah,
we just got to get the keys away from Ron Just, that's all. Whoa! Sliding up the track is the 27 of Rick Sherman's. It was a spectacular slide up sideways. I didn't quite see how that started. I was looking up a little bit closer toward the front, so that's a tough break for him. Again, he was having a terrific run earlier, going side by side for so many laps with Matt Neufeld in the 51 going for the lead. And now after that spin, sitting tail end on the field. So he's been in all of our 11 positions we have here on the Speedway. Oh, look at that, the 0-1. It's the LaForce family. She was nudging the 10 of Dennis LaForce, saying, come on, let's get going. Good run for Kirk Senger. He's heading out front. What I tell you. We've had it Wyant. Cale Siemens coming up and around the outside of the 51 of Nicholas Jewell. Jewell, though, hanging on tight. He's got the preferred line down to the inside, but if your car's set up right, you can get around the outside, no problem. Meantime, the 93 of Neil Schneider's trying to tuck his nose in there as the 5 of Kirk Senger is trying to expand out his lead, but not by much so far. What is the relationship with the two LaForces? Terrific run. That little 3-4 pack of cars led by Ben Bush in the 49, and then the 51X of Jewell down to the inside, the 28 of Siemens, and the 93 of Neil Schneider. And creeping into that are the two LaForces. Dennis in the 10, Shania in the 01. Actually, and again, in that restart, I had to laugh because Shania was beating the heck out of the back end of that 10 car, saying, come on, we're family, let's go faster. Good run with that 51X, trying to get to the inside of the 49. Trying a little bit of outside, a little bit of inside. And the 51 so far looking pretty quick getting into turn 3. Really closed up a lot of gap. Again, still, it's that 49 of Ben Bush. Out in front as the 51X of Nicholas Jewell continues to charge. Of course, that car was already a heat winner a little bit earlier. Pointed black flag, I just noticed, at the 01 of Shania LaForce. Try to find out maybe what that was about. Oh, she's doing a little bit of bump and banging that wasn't encouraged. So the 49 of Ben Bush continues to lead. It's the 51X of Nicholas Jewell and the 93 of Neil Schneider. They were a little bit more side by side, but now they separated out just a little bit. And Cale Siemens, I think, will probably be joining that pack a little bit in just a few laps. Meantime, it is that 5 we just saw of Kirk Senger flying away from the field. He's over 1 second in front of Nicole Sheetka's number 42. Third place is that number 49 of Ben Bush out of Prince Albert. And from the PA, Manitoba, it is the 51 of Nicholas Jewell. We are approaching halfway. Oh, Nick Jewell trying to get to the inside of the 49 once again. Not able to do it. The 5 there of Kirk Senger we just saw as well. Whoa, a little bit of contact. And nicely enough, the 51 of Jewell was smart enough to back off. Yeah, that could have been a little tricky.
We are halfway through.
This race is going quickly, even with that caution. This one is zipping on by. Nick Jewell, though, and again, it looks like he is getting into that corner so much better than the 51. He's having to just check up a little bit harder and not being running into the back of Ben Bush in that 49. You'll watch this. He's now maybe going to try the outside because to the inside, it's just not working. He's making the outside work, though. Ben Bush just was not getting through turns 3 and 4 as well as the 51 was able to, and the 51 had to keep checking up and not fully spinning that 49. So now he says, well, I'll just try the easy way. The 5, meantime, continues to lead over 1.5 seconds for Kirk Senger in front of that 42 of Nicole Sheetka. He is having a dominating run. A little bit earlier in the heat races, was back in the pack a little bit, had sometimes out front, but he is having a terrific run so far in this 50-lap feature race for our Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Sportsman division. Meantime, they're still pretty much in the same order, although the 51 of Nick Jewell is checking out a little bit now that he's been able to get by the 49 of Ben Bush. Neil Schneider still hanging in there, and that number 93, our best racing action there on the track. Look at that number 51X, though, of Nicholas Jewell, because earlier in that heat race with Luke Hawkes running that one, man, that just ran away from the field. Now, it's going to be interesting now that 51X is free of the rest of the cars. It'll be interesting to see how he does in catching up with either of our 2 leaders. Right now he's doing about the same lap times as Nicole Sheetka and pretty much similar to Kirk Senger. So unless something changes with the handling or the tires on any of those cars, might not be able to catch up, but has a solid hold on 3rd spot. Meantime, the number 5 of Kirk Senger starts to put laps onto the other cars. The 27 of Rick Shermans, who started on the pole, is now looking to be going 1 lap down. Just over 16 laps to go so far in this 50-lapper. Meantime, Cale Siemens starting to look to the inside of that number 93 of Neil Schneider. The Schneiders, great racing family. Now, Neil's been racing for quite a long time. Whoa, and a little loose getting out of two there for the 93. His nephew, Riley, is running in the Bandoleros, and they're going to be wrapping up their season coming up next weekend. Cale Siemens continues to hunt that position away from the 93, trying to get that nose to the inside. Powers down the back straightaway as he gets to the inside of the 93.
Oh, baby, I didn't see what happened, but 7 Shermans It's got a good part of that front end torn off.
And it looks like that did happen with the 42 of Sheetka. I was watching the battle between Schneider and Siemens, so I did miss that. But, yeah, we had, some good many body panels coming off that number 27 car. As we said before, and it's unfortunate, they do have all winter to fix it, but they'd rather not be fixing anything. Kirk Senger is the saddest guy on the track right now. I mean, he's happy that he's out front, but he's sad because he said, I had an almost 2-second lead. Bye-bye, lead.
That's great for us fans.
True, yeah. It always works that way. What's great for the racers is not always great for the fans, and the other way around. We're back to green flag racing. Kirk Senger had that enormous lead before the caution flag, and now he may not have a lead at all as the 51 of Nicholas Jewell, touches him. Jewell gets onto his brakes to make sure that he doesn't go through and spin Senger. That backs up everybody else. They're scrambling. Senger, though, is still able to hang on to the lead. Jewell bumped the curb there going into turn 1, but is still able to power through. We said before that the one person who did not want to see that caution was Kirk Senger. The 51 of Jewell before was doing similar lap times within a tenth-ish or so of the 5 of Senger, but now that you bring them together, that 51's dominance is starting to show. The 93 of Neil Schneider now is looking to try to take over second spot. Another one that was not a good beneficiary, or an anti-beneficiary, I guess we could say, of that caution flag was the 28 of Cale Siemens. He had worked his way nicely up into the field. He is now second last spot on the pack. The 51 of Jewell absolutely checking out. He is right now over a second in front of Kirk Senger. It took Senger laps and laps and laps to build up over a second lead, and in just a few laps, Nicholas Jewell has been able to put that car way out in front. Meantime, it is the 93 of Neil Schneider getting to the inside of the 5 of Kirk Senger. They're having a good battle.
Yeah, and Kirk Senger to be able to get himself to the bottom end of that track or that go around.
Also, as we were just also seeing on screen, another great battle going a little further back. Ben Bush, Matt Neufeld, the 28 of Cale Siemens all going. But look at this battle further up front as well. We see the LaForce family racing, the 51 of Matt Neufeld all the way through. Those folks are just having a great run. Back up to the front right there with the 93 of Ben Bush. He has been able to clear, of Neil Schneider. He's been able to clear that number 5 of Kirk Senger. Noticing some smoke, though, coming off the left front of Senger. I don't know if he has some body rub. I don't think so. It could just be maybe a brake issue. We'll have to see. Meantime, there is that number 51, Nicholas Jewell, checking out on the field. He is now almost 3 full seconds ahead of the 93 of Neil Schneider. An absolutely dominant run. The LaForces, a little further back, are running nose to tail, although Shania LaForce looks like she may be losing a position to that 51 of Matthew Neufeld. They're heading on to the back straightaway right now. Father-daughter, by the way, in case you're wondering, with Dennis LaForce and Shania LaForce. Further up front, Kirk Senger went from the happiest guy at the racetrack to, well, whoa! He really got sideways coming out of turn 4 there. Maybe just trying to overdrive it a little bit. Could be a little bit of frustration happening there, and that will happen. They figure, well, I'll plant the gas down a little bit harder, but sometimes that puts you out of position, and I think that's exactly what happened there as Nicole Sheetka was able to power down underneath of him and take over that 3rd spot. Nicholas Jewell, last time around, 3.8 seconds out in front of second place. Now, we're still about the same, about 3.7. Probably figures has enough lead, he can back off just a little bit. For our 2nd, 3rd, 4th, even 5th place finishers, they are still battling, but that 51X of Nicholas Jewell goes for the big win. What a terrific run for him. 2 out of the 3 races that car has run today has come home first. 2 different drivers, of course. Luke Hawkes earlier with the heat race, and the 51X right there of Nicholas Jewell with our Shell V-Power Nitro Plus division with the Sportsman. And yeah, earlier we did have that 51X of Nicholas Jewell get into the side of Kirk Senger. Jewell, though, I got to give him a big salute. He backed off, let Senger gather that car back up, and went on for the clean win. Give it up. Big round of applause as he comes around, please, for that flag-waving number 51X out of the Pas, Manitoba, the Dodge Prairie Dealers number 51 of Nicholas Jewell. Well, we just, down. Oh, we got, looks like a fire in the Dennis LaForce car. The Wyant Group Raceway safety crew over quickly to take care of that.
Thanks,
Dennis might be saying, Shania, my car is burned up. I'm taking yours for next year. That one is actually, I just found out, that's actually his NASCAR Pinty's Series car.